We went to the same college and, well, we just got along.
She was different from other girls.
He was sweet and he used to look after me. I used to feel so lonely until I met him. He got me in a way no one else did.
I was in love with her. And after a while we moved in together.
We were good together. He was lovely and I really loved him. He made me feel so special.
I didn't mean to hit her. She just made me so angry I couldn't help myself.
One night we were out and we were a bit pissed. I'd said something mean about his mother and he just lashed out. I remember crying on the pavement and people asking if I was okay. He told them I was drunk.
My parents were always fighting. To be honest, I used to think it was normal.
We said sorry the next day. His parents used to fight and he said he didn't want the same thing to happen to us. The next few weeks were amazing. It felt like when we first met.
My mum used to always annoy my dad. If he was late home, she would cry and shout and say he did it on purpose to hurt her. It got so much one time Dad grabbed her by the hair right in front of me. He was yelling in her face.
I thought if anyone hit me, I'd leave them right then. But I trusted him and I loved him too much to leave. I really believed him when he said he'd change.
When I was a kid, I would just lie there, listening to my parents fighting. I would hear him throwing stuff about, hear the slap and her sobbing. I hated it, but I couldn't escape it. When I went to sleep, I had nightmares.
It started happening more often. We'd argue about silly things, where he was going, why he was late, who he was texting. Sometimes he'd get really angry, start shouting, and sometimes he'd hit me. The next morning he'd act like nothing had happened.
She really started to get on my nerves. If I was late home, she would cry and interrogate me. She was relentless. I couldn't shut her up.
I felt trapped in this. But he didn't hit me all the time, so I kept telling myself it wasn't abuse. I kept telling myself he would change.
I knew I was out of line to hit her, but I didn't think it was that bad. My parents were worse. I kept promising myself afterwards that I would never do it again, but it kept happening.
He trashed the flat, and that's what finally stopped it. Our neighbours called the police. I was shaking, crying, and my friends told me I had to get out. So I left him.
I couldn't believe she would leave me. I realized I couldn't keep pretending this was normal or okay.
I knew it had to stop. I was desperate for his attention all the time. It was unhealthy. But I still felt guilty. I'd lost confidence in myself.
I was just like my dad and it made me sick. I didn't want to be that person.
One of my friends told me she's seen a therapist at Off Centre and they'd really helped her. I thought about it for a while and thought, why not?
I didn't know where to go for help, but I looked online for something in Hackney and found a website that seemed okay. I was so ashamed that it took me weeks to phone them. I got to talk to someone face to face. I told them about my relationship and how angry I was. They didn't judge me. We talked about my life growing up and how it connected to what had happened.
They've been really supportive. They sat me down and we started to work through the hurt. They didn't tell me what to do, but they helped me make my own choices. It just felt so good to have someone listen to me. They helped me think about what I wanted in a relationship. And over the sessions I realised how insecure I felt. I feel things are moving forward now.
I realized I couldn't change by myself. I had to reach out for help.